Failed demolition attempt. This steel and concrete structure in Kankiri, Turkey, falls onto its side and ends up on its roof. Yet the building remains intact, demonstrating its strength, stability, and structural integrity. Top-down demolitions. The following videos show buildings being blown up from the top and middle sections. These are controlled demolitions. Notice some massive outward ejections of dust and debris. The World Trade Center North Tower. American Airlines Flight 11 struck the North Tower at 8:46 a.m. on the morning of 9/11. The building burned for almost 103 minutes until it completely collapsed at 10:29 a.m. at near free-fall acceleration. The World Trade Center South Tower. United Airlines Flight 175 struck the South Tower at 9:03 a.m. on the morning of 9/11. The building burned for less than 1 hour before it completely collapsed at 9:59 a.m. at near free-fall acceleration. So the question is, do you believe what you can see with your own eyes, or do you believe what you were told to believe? Call your congressional representative, call your senators, call your favorite radio talk shows, write letters and send emails to them, write letters and send emails to your local newspapers. Demand a new 9/11 investigation.
So I ask you, after you've seen buildings demolished, demolition demolished, what looks more like demolition? Building 7? How about the other ones being top down? How do you eject the stuff out at 50 miles an hour plus and get it to go into the other buildings? How do you turn concrete into dust? Yet you're told you got to start hating Muslims, and you better get hating quick, because oh my gosh, they're terrorists. The honest guy told you that. So, a little thought. Here's a little thing for you. Here's Ron Paul speaking. Really bad camera work, but he says, haven't you heard? There's been a coup. The CIA runs it now.
Than they admit. I mean, but they're almost like they live in a different world. The military's down, the morale is down, the money isn't there. They're going looking for a couple more wars to fight.
Yeah.
It makes no sense whatsoever. But no, we don't have to worry. It's not the military anymore because there's been a coup. Have you heard? It's the CIA coup. The CIA runs everything. They run the military. They're the ones who are over there lobbing missiles and bombs on these countries. It's not even the military that does that. The CIA runs this. And of course, the CIA is every bit as secret as the Federal Reserve. And yet, think of the harm that they have done since they were established since World War II. They are a government unto themselves. They're in businesses. They're in drug businesses, and they take out dictators. We need to take out the CIA.
Yeah!
So kind of a shaky video, kind of a thing, small piece, very quick. But you know the last guy who wanted to give the CIA a hard time? His name was John Fitzgerald Kennedy. And by the way, for homework, I want you to look up Executive Order 11,110. You get that, Matt? Executive Order 11,110. Type that into your Google search engine. You may find that we had a president who was a very brave man. And he created currency known as United States notes, not Federal Reserve notes. Oh, no. No. Not the private banking cartel notes. These were United States notes. They would compete against Federal Reserve notes. He also stated that he wanted to break the CIA up into 1,000 pieces. He knew who his enemy was. Are they your enemy? Or do you really love the Cocaine Importation Agency? I ask you. So with that in mind, let's see. Oh, I've got a good one for you. All right. I'll roll into this because you should see this. We air it for the Sharon viewers, but for you viewers that don't always stay up late for the Friday night late night movie, which I highly recommend, stay up late, set the recorder if you can't make it, watch it the next time. But here's a little piece, and I'll ask you, do you know who the oligarchs are? Do we have oligarchs in our country? So check this out.
Over the past decades, since the Kennedy assassination approximately, you've had an ongoing oligarchical transformation of virtually every country in the world. And in the United States, it's taken the form of an oligarchical counter-revolution against the reforms of the 1930s, with the Wall Street interest asserting itself as more and more dominant. And once bankers and oligarchs have power, the things that they do, you could call them a policy. You could call it something like a tropism. It's like the way a plant responds. Naturally, since they're oligarchs, they're going to try to downgrade the standard of living of the vast majority of the population. They're going to claim that the world is overpopulated, that industrialization, industrial pollution, and overpopulation are the main problems that face the world. And they're generally going to try to crush and mortify any kind of popular democracy or mass movements with any kind of progressive content.
Nations rise and fall. They knew how debt could never be recuperated. They knew that disease or prolonged war could wipe out the population and the future populations that pay off debt. So these guys all work together. That's why it's no surprise that today you have Lord Rothschild coming out pushing the latest scam or religion that we must all believe in, which is global warming, which his personal bank, his family's bank in Switzerland, will be in charge of. They've run the system, the whole economic system of the world for the last 250 years. So why shouldn't they also run the economic system for the next few hundred years?
The question of a ruling class, oligarchy as a ruling class, is posed by Plato in the Republic, where we find that oligarchy is a constitution full of many evils, where the rich dominate the government by buying it, and the average individual or the poor count for absolutely nothing.